Good evening and welcome to this episode of What Matters with me, Erica Lita. And today I have on another special guest, MUA and woman extraordinaire, Tricia Walters.
Hello.
Hello. So Tricia is a dear, dear friend of mine for anyone who knows me. Tricia and I have known each other for 4 years now?
Yes.
4 years, yes. And how Tricia and I met is very interesting. We are internet friends. So we originally met over Facebook, and we were introduced by a mutual friend of ours that used to live in Montreal and knew the both of us. So Tricia and I began our friendship really as a business relationship. She had joined an MLM that I was a part of and still am, and I had to train her. And because I was in Montreal, she was in Toronto, we did this over the phone. And like things that should be, we immediately clicked. Tricia is my soul sister. I feel like I've known her for 30 years and not 3 or 4, and we immediately hit it off. And what is really amazing about Tricia and her journey is that Tricia is a self-taught professional MUA. And for those of you that are watching and don't know what MUA is, it is a makeup artist. Now, makeup has become really, really big in social media and all over the place recently, and we were part of that trend. Started selling makeup and then had to learn how to use said makeup. And Tricia was just like myself, where our makeup bag consisted of what?
Mascara.
Uh-huh.
Lip gloss.
Uh-huh. And the magic one?
The gold shadow.
The gold eyeshadow. And those were the 3 items that we knew how to use. And because we were now in the business of selling makeup, we had to know how to use it. And what happened was Tricia found that she excelled. It was her calling. She had never considered herself artistic, never practiced, never tried, but when she picked up a brush, she could create magic. So I am going to let Tricia talk eventually. So what I noticed is that Tricia would start sending me these amazing pictures of her face at 11:30 at night, midnight, 1 a.m. on a Tuesday, and she would show me these eye looks, and I was like, what are you doing? And I'm practicing. And she started practicing late at night, and she told me it was very therapeutic, which we came to find out. There was something very, very therapeutic about sitting there and creating on your palette, on your face that God gave you. And then she just blossomed, and it went from creating extraordinary looks on herself to creating looks for others. And now Tricia does brides, proms. She's done photo shoots for magazines. The lady is really, really good at what she does, and you will see some pictures. So I introduced to you my dear friend, again, woman extraordinaire, Tricia Walters. Welcome, Tricia. Thank you so much for agreeing to come on today. I know that
I don't think I had a choice.
Yeah, she didn't really have a choice. I'm being very polite now, but she did it, and I'm grateful. So, Tricia, tell us, first of all, what were you doing before you started? How did you end up deciding to sell makeup? What happened? How did this happen?
I've been in customer service for many, many years as something I've always loved doing. But as each child came, it was getting harder and harder to commute. So when you and I met, it was when Caprice was born, which is my last, who's about to turn 4. And I just didn't want to commute anymore. I needed to find a way out. At the time we met and we clicked, and I thought, okay, let me try something completely out of my comfort zone because makeup's not going anywhere. Makeup not going anywhere. I don't wear makeup, but I know a lot of people who do.
Right.
So it's indisposable. It's gonna be there. I gotta make it work. Here goes social media as an avenue, and that was a new platform for me. I'm like, why do I have to like anything? I was like, I'm just looking. What do you mean I have to go and do things?
We were the behind
post
the
at a certain time to try to
scrollers.
meet your audience.
What audience?
But yeah, you said exactly how it unfolded. I mean, just customer service, me trying to find a way out, and it didn't look like I had planned, right? I was trying to go up and get to black status, but this is where it's shifted. So it's not in the avenue of the element the way it was, but way it started, but
it definitely took you somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere different than
we first intended. And something that I say, I mean, I'm a very big believer in MLMs. And again, sorry for just dropping acronyms on you. That's multi-level marketing, direct sales. And a lot of people have, you know, very bad impressions of it. But as Tricia was saying, when you're looking for other streams of income, when you're looking for a way to supplement or even change how you make your money, this is a great way.
Yeah.
And for us, it was the beginning of discovery. And I always tell people that one of the reasons I so strongly believe in multi-level marketing is because of the development that comes from it. It doesn't necessarily mean you'll become the #1 candle seller or tight seller or jewelry seller in the world, but the push that it gives you to take you completely outside of your comfort zone and use social media instead of just being a silent scroller in the background and liking, you know, pictures of friends from high school, you start to use it in the way it's so powerful, and that's connecting with other people. And you know, the great thing is that we learned together. Like, this was, even though I was training her, I had only been a few months in it, a few months before her, but that's also the exponential growth that you have. You learn so much in little spurts of time that very soon you can train someone else to do it. So we embark on this journey of selling makeup and reaching people and going outside of our comfort zone. And you know, you'll see pictures come up of Tricia and I at, you know, we'd go to events, and even looking through the pictures that you sent me, I'm like, it looks like we've been together for 20 years.
Yeah.
We've done so much.
It just clicked. Not just the first phone call, getting to know each other on this journey, but the first event was
magic.
It was a well-oiled machine.
Yes, magic. You'd swear we worked together for like ever. It was just magic.
Yeah.
So how did you go from, okay, you know, I'm going to play with this so at least I don't look like a crazy person when I tell people I sell eyeshadow, to doing other people's faces? Because that to me is a big deal. Like to cut someone's hair or to put makeup on them or to get into someone else's space, it's really a big deal. So how did you make that leap?
I wasn't an intentional leap. It was more of a push or a shove. Quite honest. Like you said, it happened by accident. So there's so much out there, and I didn't know where to reach to learn, because I'd see pictures and I understood the artistic view of makeup, but I didn't see it on me. So when I reached out to my old friend, mentor, Nandi,
Nandy
She's
Cox.
she's also from Montreal, but she's still there. And I would say I like this picture and send it to her, and then she would tell me what colors to use, and I'd take a picture and send her of what the result was, and then she'd help me tweak, and I just kept doing that. And then you would start coming over, and or it just started happening where I would just say, let me try this on your face, and then I tried that on that person's face, and then the reaction is what made me realize, hey, this isn't so bad, where I think maybe it could be better, people's reaction. And then when, okay, you want makeup done for this, okay, no problem, I'm just doing my friend's makeup. But why I say it was like a push, because the village, my sisters pushing me like, no, you can't not do it. Oh, this person wants me to do makeup for prom. Well, how many are you doing? And that just started unfolding. What turned into one, turned into two, turned into three, and that kept happening. So I don't know if I went that way, but I kind of followed where I was being pulled.
You were being
For
pulled
sure.
by your tribe.
Of course.
And that's really another important thing about, you know, multi-level marketing, or who you surround yourself with, the friends that you keep. They will really, really help you set your trajectory. When you surround yourself by uplifting, motivated people who believe in you when you don't have any belief in yourself, when you don't even see your own value, it can take you far, and you kind of use their buoyancy to get you floating and get you to where you're going. And I know that I'm one of her biggest cheerleaders, and I saw it from the day she started doing it, that she was amazing. She was really, really good at it. And Tricia's a bit of a perfectionist, so nothing's ever good enough. And I think that other people had to start looking in and telling her that's beyond good enough. It's excellent. And when we come back from break, we are going to be headed into another subject. But please remember, for everyone out there who has a passion, who's interested in something, the definition of a professional, insert whatever word you want, is someone who is paid to do what they do. So it is not necessarily an education level.
Right.
It is not your training. It's if someone is going to pay you to do what you do. So when we come back from the break, we're going to discuss social media sharing and how Tricia got over a huge hurdle in her life by literally exposing herself. So we'll be right back after this break.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Welcome back to What Matters with me, Erica Lita, and today my guest is MUA woman extraordinaire Tricia Walters, and yes, I am going to keep saying it. So before the break, we were just discussing how Tricia became a makeup artist, what led her down this path, and how she started doing this as a profession. Like, this is what you do. You're booked most weekends now. And you've even done a photo shoot for a magazine. Have you done one or two?
I did one for the magazine, and I just did one for for a client the other day. That was last weekend? Yeah.
Last weekend. So, oh, go over more? Okay, sorry. There. See, sometimes, guys, I have a little bit of technical difficulty. Is this okay? Okay, because there's no fourth wall here. I talk directly to the producer. Um, so Tricia had become a makeup artist kind of accidentally.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's purposeful, but she stumbled upon it. So again, one of the things I try to do with this platform, and I want to do with this platform, is encourage the viewers to follow their dreams. I don't care how cliche it is. This is really what I'd like to do. And things unfold in different ways. So if you did not go to makeup school when you were a little girl, or you can't draw, that's all right. You're going to be all right, because if you have a passion for something and a talent like you do, it can propel you. Now, one of the reasons why you started practicing and starting doing this is because you found it very therapeutic, correct?
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about how in the world putting on eyeshadow and concealer and contour is therapeutic for a woman. Explain this to me.
I'll tell you two sides to it. So initially, when it was just my hand to my face, or my hand to your face, for example, because I practice on your face a lot, it was being able to translate what I saw, either on a picture or in my mind, and being elated that it actually happened. That was the first bit. It was also because I got to do it at nighttime when my kids were sleeping.
Right.
And I was nursing like crazy, so any moment I got for just me, that was where it stemmed. Now, just on Saturday, I was doing Chantal's makeup, and she's like, it's like spiritual.
That's such a nice way to put it.
The way you put makeup on.
It's true.
And it didn't dawn on me at the time, but when I did Cola's makeup the last time, I asked her, what are you gonna do? I said, what are you feeling right now? Because it was a big event for her. Mm-hmm. And she told me what she was feeling, and I said, define that in colors. So she said red, orange, and yellow. And I said, you are like a queen. This is your day, so we're going to add the gold for you, like an empress. So that's where it happened. That day,
that was a fire and ice day.
Was fire and ice. I was actually thinking of doing something on myself. I tend to get ahead of myself and I get excited, so I don't do two eyes the same when I'm practicing, because I just see so many colors. But when Cola showed up, I was like, this thought was not for me. It was for her.
Yes. And look at her beautiful face. So look at that. Like,
if you saw the video of when she saw it, it was pretty exciting, because she's like, oh my God, you did that. And that's what does it for me. That's where creating, because I can't draw nothing more than a stick figure. I have no sense of perception on paper, but on a face,
3D surfaces.
I can see things apparently that other people don't see, and I can apply that with some eyeshadow and color, or none.
Or none, yes.
None.
And I would definitely say color is your strength. You're very, very good with color. Colors that scared me, colors that I was like, oh, I can't wear this. And I really wish that we did not take 7 zillion pictures, because I would have been able to find this one. Yeah. But I remember going to Tricia and saying to Tricia, I cannot wear silver. Did she prove me wrong? Like, that actually became one of my favorite looks. And something you just said really resonated, that when Chantal, that's another friend of ours, said that you putting on makeup is a spiritual experience. Tricia's touch is very soft. She's not invasive. It's an interesting experience to have her apply your makeup, because she tries to figure out what suits you best and to bring out the best in you. And she really is looking at you as a person. Not just the event you're going to, which obviously will play into it, but she really brings out the best in you. She brings that forward. So I completely agree with Chantal on that. Now, part of this journey, because, I was doing this with you, is that we had to share a lot of things. There's you putting on the makeup on Cola. Mm-hmm. We had to do a lot of things on social media, and part of it was sharing, because as we know, in our society, there's so much contrived things and fake things, and part of the way you connect with your audience is by being authentic. But because we're so used to seeing and modeling ourselves after these perfect things, the idea of getting up there and being imperfect was a little bit crazy, right? I mean, we all live in the Kardashian era where everything has to look just so pristine. It has to be perfect. It's all photoshopped. It's all perfect. And then we're being told differently. Go out there, be yourself, let them see your zits, let them see you not well, let your kids run into frame. And it was just very different than what we were used to seeing. Right. So with a lot of practice and a lot of fear. I mean, before Facebook Live, there was just recording a video and putting it up. And remember recording and deleting and recording and deleting and recording and deleting until you went to bed? Like, we just never got to the point we would put up this very imperfect video. And because of that, it forced us to expose ourselves. Yes. And show us practicing and really messing up, not doing a good job, things not turning out well. And, you know, planning this Facebook Live, and then your child starts screaming in the background about, some random thing. The cameras fall down. Yep. Nothing like the studio here. Renisha has everything perfect. No, they put things up. Remember propping it up on books?
The books? Yes.
and asking people to take pictures of their setup, and it's like, but I have to take it with my phone, and then I won't be set up. Yes. So it was really, we were really winging it, and I feel creative. Like we were almost in like the dinosaur age of Facebook. Yes, even though it's only been a few years, and so with this, we became more open to our audience. Yeah. And what's really weird about this, and I know you felt this too, is that people are actually listening to me.
Right.
People actually care what I do. Yeah. Like, I really didn't believe that would be the case, but it was. And people are interested in your life and they follow. And then Tricia, so now Tricia and I had been friends for a few years. And I'll be playing a clip from the video, but as a segue into that, as we've already said, we have a very, very good rapport. And I feel, I'm going to credit myself with this now, that I can read her unlike most people can. I can tell you, I could do the narrative in Tricia's head as she's going through looking very stoic. No one would know she's flustered or upset or anything. And I can see it. So because I felt so connected to my friend and that I knew her so well, you're always surprised when someone has something that they're keeping from you and they're not telling you. And it's not always necessarily a bad thing that they're acting in deception or, you know, trying to keep you in the dark, because oftentimes we hide things from ourselves.
Exactly.
It's not that we're not trying to tell you, we're not even trying to acknowledge it ourselves, right? And so here we are on this journey of sharing things with social media. And Tricia and I, we help each other with our hairdos and, you know, doing different things. And so one evening, Tricia had asked me to come by to help her braid her hair. And it was a very, very interesting experience. And I will share that with you before we go to break. And when we come back, I'll play the video. But this was the first time my friend did not feel like my friend. She was like an alien to me. She sat in the chair and her body was rigid, completely stiff and rigid. And every time I talked to her, she'd answer me in one-word sentences. Yes, no. And at one point, I just wanted to leave. I was like, this person, I don't know what happened. I don't know what went wrong. Where's my friend? But she never turned her head. No. She wouldn't move, and she would not speak to me. And this is the very, very first time I found out about Tricia's alopecia. So when we come back from the break, we're going to explain to you what alopecia is, and we're going to share a phenomenal video that Tricia did last year. It's almost a year exactly. And we'll talk a little bit more about how much it helps you to let go of the things that you're ashamed of. So we'll be right back after this break.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity in our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
And we're back. Third segment, time's going fast. It always goes too fast. I'm going to petition for a longer show. This is what I'm going to do. But before the break, I was speaking about an experience I had with Tricia, which was, I hope never occurs again.
No.
And it was very weird because this is someone I feel very, very close to, treasure you like I can't even explain. And I went to braid her hair for her, and she turned into someone else, somebody that I didn't know, I didn't recognize. And
Ice Princess.
Yeah, Ice Princess. And I thought she was angry with me, and that's really how I felt. And I finished braiding her hair, and I left immediately, like right away. I went home. It was the most unfriendly atmosphere you could want. And it was because it was the first time I had seen Tricia's hair. And now Tricia suffers from alopecia, which she will explain to you what it is.
So alopecia is a condition that a lot of people have and may not know, but it has a couple of categories, but it affects the hair. There's universal, so you may notice some people have no lashes, no brows, no body hair at all, and then you have the ones with Artera where you lose patches randomly, and it grows back randomly. And then I have the scarring. So there's traction alopecia, which is more common in the colored girls because we pull our hair, braids, ponytails, whatnot. We want it to be slick and smooth, so that traction pulling can result in follicles dying. For myself, where the follicles will die and there's scarring, and so that's where the lack of hair growth starts. And it started when I was in elementary school. So I noticed one or two areas, but it took a long time for me to be appropriately diagnosed.
Right.
Dermatologist after dermatologist, they were not pinpointing what it was. Give me this, give me that. Nothing was working. It would just kind of move. But for myself, the centralized point was the middle of my head, which I could cover with a ponytail.
Right. So now I had known you for a few years before I found this out. And
Right.
so this was something that you...
I might drop a line here or there and then walk on and never talk about it again.
Right, just never mention it. So this is something that you were kind of hiding. Like,
yeah.
Not kind of. You were hiding it. This is not something that you would, hi, my name is Tricia, I have alopecia. This was just not, the bottom picture you see Naomi Campbell, and she's an example of traction alopecia,
Right.
where all the sides, the front of her hair from too tight braids has pulled out her hair, probably from the root, and it isn't growing back. So at this point, you had been hiding it. And now you're in social media, you're doing makeup, you're doing lives, you're doing videos, you're sharing wisdom. That's another thing that you would do. On your journey of personal growth, we share like what we learn. It's like, what I just figured out? The comfort zone is the dead zone. And, for those who've been through it and know it, they're like, okay, yeah, we've been there, done that. But for those who don't, it's huge revelation. So you were sharing these things in your lives, in your videos, with your posts, your inspirational quotes. And what made you decide to tell, I think you're at 23,000 people now, 23,000 people minimum, about your alopecia? What made you do that?
I have to say probably just God, but it stemmed from a conversation I was having with Davis. I don't know how right now, I said it in the video, but he asked me a question about it. And asked me if I'm going to do something on social media or whatnot. And I'm like, what are you talking about? No way. Why would I expose that? I can't even let my friends see my hair without turning into another person. Long story short, I was coming over to do my hair.
Yes.
And I was calling you to tell you what time I'd be there or whatnot. And I was like, I think I'm going to talk about my alopecia. And you're like, okay. And that was it.
And then it happened.
It happened.
And then it happened.
I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what that entailed. There was no plan. It was just, I guess, on my heart to let it go. I guess it had come to the surface to this day for a reason. It would always bubble up when I had to do my hair, because it was like, it had to get done so that I look like myself that I want to show the world, so they don't know about this. So it had to be done on long weekends, because it was a long drawn out process. And if it wasn't, I'd tie my hair for the first couple days of the week, going back to work till I could hide it till completion. I think I was just tired.
You're just
I
tired
was just
of it.
tired of the work that it took. Was getting harder, and I'm getting older. And this is taking 3 days where it used to take 1 or 2. But it had to come out, because you can only carry it for so long without it picking away at your soul. Really.
Yeah, basically, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
And we're going to play a clip from the video, but after you did it, how did you feel?
I was raw. Initially, like, I was a hot mess, just a wave of emotions, crying, boogers everywhere. That was not a pretty day for me. After a couple of hours and talking, because there was an outpouring of support. Like, my messenger never got that kind of affection ever. When it was blowing up, I had to just push the phone aside, because I was so kind of in my feelings. But I was in a moment where I had to move through it, and I couldn't move through it with distraction. I just had to sit in it till it passed. And the next, I think I did makeup that night or the next day, but I was naked and afraid, because I was naked. It's the most naked I feel when I take my hair out. Yeah. And I'm afraid for people to see it.
So here's a clip from Tricia's video. You can find it on Facebook. It should be on YouTube. I'm going to talk to her about that after. But it's called Naked and Afraid. You can search for it to see the whole thing. It's about 20 minutes long, and it's under Tricia's name, and it's called Naked and Afraid. So here's a clip from the video from that day.
Why naked and why afraid? I'm afraid because I've wanted to be fully open with the world of people who encounter me from day one, but it's very scary for me, because I have this outer shell that I was born with, that I nurture, because it doesn't matter what the package would have looked like, I would have nurtured it anyway. But it sends the impression of, like, assumed perfection, not the case. So I get really sensitive because I have shame and all kinds of stuff behind it. So what a lot of people not a lot, but some people know, and a lot of people don't know, is I have a form of alopecia that I've lived with since I was a young girl. And it took me till my adulthood, in my 20s, that a naturopath kind of diagnosed me.
So there's a little clip from Tricia's video, Naked and Afraid. Has over 20,000 views, and I'm sure after this show it's going to have even more. And I will make her put it on on YouTube as well. And so, like you said, the outpouring, the reaction. Now, what did you expect? Did you expect anything, or you just did it?
I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have any intention. I just needed to talk about it. And I'm very organic. So I have very little filter. It's either mute or talking. But I'm not afraid to let my...
The mute saves the world, by the way. You should know this.
I'm not afraid to let my kind of soul lead me. And that's what happened. I just started talking. And I let it go. I had a friend say it was like your deliverance. And I think she was spot on. Yeah. Because the shift,
massive,
since then was nuts, but it's good. it's been good.
It's been amazing.
I'm getting closer and closer to my goal.
You know, and I got a front row seat to all of this, so it was really, really amazing. And, you know, going from seeing how she reacted to me, and I mean, I really feel I'm like so near and dear to her heart. So she was so cold, and then to open up my Facebook, because she was on her way to my house, and see her
outside your house
talking and crying, and I'm crying, and now other people are crying, and we're all messaging her, but the after how she changed, and she was just more open, and she started saying, yeah, one day I'm going to shave it. I'm not sure when I'm going to do it. And I'm, Tricia, is that you? Mm-hmm. And she's like, yeah, I'm getting ready. I'm getting closer. And even when I would braid her hair for her, one time she came over, I was doing it, and there were 2 other people in the room, and I was like, do you want me to wait or you want me to angle? She was like, no. And she was just talking, and
I never done that.
Never done that. So the point is for you guys, because this is really for you guys. I swear to you it is. If you have something that you're holding on to, something that you're ashamed of, so many of our shames are not our own.
No.
They don't belong to us. Medical conditions that are beyond our control, bad treatment from other people that we don't control. And even if it is within, we're all human, right? So if you have something you're holding on to, try to let it go. You'd be amazed.
It's not necessarily a burden to
it's
bear.
Not a
Just
burden.
because you have it doesn't mean
it's not yours
you have
to
to be
carry.
burdened by it.
Yeah. It's not yours to carry. It's something that you have. And so because of the alopecia, this will explain how Tricia became the brow whisperer and is one of the best brow artists like ever. Just ever. And it's not just me toting her because she's my friend. She's truly, truly amazing. So what Tricia's going to do for us today, and I'm very, very happy she's doing this because, you know, in a while, who knows what this will cost, but Tricia's going to do a live demo on Jennifer Simone Smith, another co-host here. She was on right before me if you've been watching for the last 2 hours, and she's going to do Jennifer's brows for us live. Give us some tips, give us some tricks, show us what to do and what not to do, and trust me, I will have a running commentary behind there. So after this break, we will be back with Simone. And we're back. So for this last segment, which again went way too fast, Jennifer Simone Smith is joining us today. She is our model. So what Tricia's going to do is she's going to demonstrate how she whispers to brows. Now, Tricia is outstanding. at how she does brows, and she will give you a few, no, not talking into the mic, sorry, Mom. She will give you a few tips and tricks. She really called me and told me to speak into the microphone. So she's going to give you some tips and tricks on how to do your brows. And like I said, I have some comments that I'm going to make too. But Tricia, you are up.
All right. So here are my trusted tools. Whether you're going to use a pencil, it doesn't matter. Pencil, pomade, you can choose, but it really boils down to playing. But here's the rule of thumb. What length brow? Where is my arch? Where does it start? So I'm going to tell you that real quick. So I'm going to use your eye and your nose, and this is where your brow should start. So on the side of your nose and the inner corner of your eye, that's where you're going to start your brow. The outer part of your nose and the outer corner is where you're going to end your brow. Now the mystery is where you're going to put the arch, and that is your pupil is going to be part of the guide. Some people will use the same outer corner, but you can also use the crease, and you're going to use the pupil, and that's where we're going to arch her eyebrow. So we're going to make her brows quickly fuller. I've got concealer that I always use. I put on the back of my hand, that warms it up, and that's the magic piece there, really. But I have my brow with my angled brush, my spoolie. This is the business. So I'm gonna brush her brows through first.
So the spoolie's like a brush.
This is where I'm gonna start her brow. So I'm just gonna tap that here, and I'm gonna start to underline. And I just, less is more, so light strokes is your best bet. And then I'm going to start to go with the flow of the hair. So you don't want to fill it in like marker or crayon, like a coloring book. You want to underline it to make the shape. But as you're going, you're also going to fill it in to simulate actual hairs. The front, please do not go hard. Go
you are not
light,
a comma.
because you will look a little harsh. So you're going to see that filling in quickly. And I'm going to start at the arch now, and this is where we're going to get a little bit more pronounced. And I'm going to add a little bit of length. But you want the darkest part not to be at the front of your brow and not always right under. But if you do get a little darker under, please just blend up lightly. Don't apply any more product at this point. This is when this comes in handy, and you're going to start to brush it through. And that's to spread the product nice and even so it doesn't look like you did your brows.
So to keep in mind, eyebrows are made out of hair, whether you have them or not. So you don't want to put on eyebrows that look like they were done with Sharpie. It is not attractive. Just don't do it. Now, I am very much a believer in, makeup is expression. Makeup is how you feel that day. It's like an outfit or your perfume, how you feel that day. So we're expressive. Some days it's a red lip, sometimes it's a dark eye, sometimes it's and kind of get out of the frame. You'll just hear my voice, okay? I'll be like just a voice. But one of the things that I think a lot of people don't realize is a lot of the makeup you're seeing on Instagram and on Facebook, it's stage makeup. It's the same way you'll go to an haute couture fashion show or a hair show where the girl's hair's like a helicopter or they have like a huge cape. It's to show you what the artist is capable of, how they can work their medium. So a lot of times when you see the very heavy makeup, that wasn't made for walking down the street. Yeah. It was made for photo shoots and fashion shows and so forth. So less often is more, and I'm not, again, we all have our own styles. I'm not knocking anyone who loves a ton of makeup, but I can tell you across the board more than once, I have heard, seen, and say it myself that women who wear a lot of makeup are often confused with drag queens, and because it just, you no longer look like yourself. You no longer look natural. So it almost looks like you're trying to create something that isn't there. Just Erica's opinion. Go ahead, comment away, curse at me. It's fine. But that, I really believe that less is more. And please keep in mind your eyebrows are made of hair and eyelashes are not necessarily fans, right? Like the whole fan where you can hear their eyes opening and closing. So, be careful of that. Less is definitely more. Can we see?
I don't know if you want to look at the before and after so you can turn and see. One brow. this is the natural brow.
Wow.
And this is
The whispered
brow.
brow.
Whispered brow. I
And
don't
so-
want to go too harsh, but you can go as fancy as you want. I don't think squiggly eyebrows are necessary in the world, but you
Not
can
for
go
me either.
heavy. But it all depends on your eye. So if one celebrity wants to have big, loud brows, that might suit their face. It might suit the look of what they're wearing that day to bring attention to everything else but their eyes. Why wouldn't you want your eyes to sparkle? So you want to make sure you frame them according to your features. So big is not nice for anybody, and pencil thin, all from the beginning to the end is also not ideal. But you can still keep thin eyebrows as long as you learn the shape that suits your face.
So playing is important.
Playing is important. Don't play before you have somewhere to go. There's pressure involved. Your best bet is just sit down when you, for me, some of my best creations happen just girl talk, just sitting at my table and play. That's your best bet, is play when you have nowhere to go. You could take it off. You can have no stress about how clownish you may look, but next time you'll look less clownish. And then you'll find, I got this in one swipe. I got this in 3 strokes, and
Right.
I'm done. And that's what happened to me.
Okay, well, you can't let her go like that.
No, I'm going to do
So
other
do
ones.
you,
eyebrow.
do you see it though? Do you see
I
you
can't
can't
see.
see from that far? I
But I
wish
will.
you can. Is it wrong of us, Anisha? Can she take a selfie? Go ahead, take a selfie,
Okay.
so you could see it, because I want you to see the difference. And it is, and for our viewers, Erica's like in half screen. Anisha's just gonna kill me. Like we're just
come
so
in.
out of it. But for those of us those of you watching and you see
I
that
have
we're
an
not.
eyebrow.
Doesn't it look great?
Yeah, I have an eyebrow. That's cool.
You're going to
Isn't
have
it
2.
cool? She's gonna have 2
Eyebrows for
soon.
like a night.
Yes.
One with it.
And take the picture so that when you try to recreate, you have
reference.
your reference. So, I will let Tricia continue with some of her tips and tricks, but as she said, one, know the position of where it should go, and if you go to Tricia's page, and this is how Erica constantly throws her friend under the bus, she will either repost one of her tutorials on how to do brows, or she will do another one. So that you can see when you go and you follow her or like her on Facebook or Instagram, you'll be able to see the tutorial. She's really good with all the different shapes, but more importantly, as she said, practice. Ladies, practice. Do it when you're not stressed. Do it when you have nowhere to go. And if it turns out fabulously, take 1,000,000 selfies or find somewhere to go. So Tricia's now doing Simone's other brow. And
And this is the good thing about this back of the hand magic tool concealer. You see, if they turn out to be different in any way, you can fix it if you've got good concealer. My
you don't
tip
restart.
here, concealer comes in 1,000,000 shades. So if you're doing under your eyes to conceal dark circles is 1 shade. If you want to highlight under your brow bone, that's when you're going to use a lighter color, which I did for her here, so that you can accentuate the bone structure. And then the darker color that is going to match her skin tone or her foundation you're going to use on top, because you don't want to look like you have an outline at the end of it. So just going to finish and clean you up. But if you make an error,
There we go.
if I make an error just filling it in, I can always correct it with the concealer. So if one is a little too long,
Tricia, you're gonna have to talk up, honey.
if one's a little bit too long, I can cut it short. But this is the trick here. So I just lightly dab it and go under, and then I paint that down, and you can blend it out. And the good thing is it's multi-purpose, because you can use it as a base for your eyeshadow. Thank you, Simone. So here I'm just going to dab that out with my fingertip so it blends. And then I'm going to wipe that, and then go with the darker color again, because we don't want to do more work. We want less work, but we just want to nail it kind of right from the start.
So to recap, and I know you got, oh, perfect. See, Anisha is just on the ball. So you get to see another one of Tricia's clients where she did her eyebrows. And what Tricia's telling you is that you don't wipe it off and start again. That is the magic of concealer. It is the product to use to fix any mistakes that you may make.
And then when you're done, please don't forget to come back to your trusted spoolie friend, because again, you'll have that outline and you want it to look natural. So you're going to brush it through. And you have brows. I'm gonna finish blending that under there.
I have brows.
You got brows, girl. You've got browed by the brow whisperer.
How many days can I keep this?
Tricia, tell them about the woman who did not wash her
The shower
eyebrows.
cap.
No, but you guys think I'm joking, though.
I know you're not.
No,
Listen,
Simone, we are
though.
fully aware you are not.
Listen.
We are so aware of this. It's like,
There you go.
yeah. So a lady, Tricia did someone's eyebrows, and the lady put a shower cap on her face. No, on her whole face.
It's a good idea.
So that it
Very
wouldn't
good
mess
idea.
up the makeup, so that she
Running
could
that.
wear it for an extra day. I know I'm in half frame. Anisha, you must want to kill me. I'm so sorry. I'm going to get out. I'm just going to come out the frame. Because I'm like, Anisha's like going mad behind it, going, how is she half in the frame? So, yes.
brows.
I
You've
have
got-
brows.
You
She's
gotta
got
take the
brows.
selfie now to compare it to the other picture with the one brow done.
So was this a used shower cap? Just asking questions here.
She's like, just wants to know. So, guys, I'm going to come back in frame.
Fantastic.
Oh my goodness, I'm getting the lecture of a lifetime after this show about format and placement. You know, I'm learning, I'm growing. We're getting better each time. Do you love it?
I have eyebrows.
Do you like your brows?
I love my brows. I have brows. Listen, I don't know what to do with them. I have no idea. Let's just be real.
I love the people I work with. Don't even know what to do.
stay
Dave,
there.
good luck.
Right.
The best of luck to you. You are about to go out on the town. She's going to raise her eyebrows at
Friday
a
on
couple
In
of
the
people.
Now, I'm going to have my eyebrows done. You guys going to wonder how I did it. Not coming off. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for being willing. And if she has these eyebrows on Friday, that's a whole other show.
Judge me, Anne.
She's not like, I care. She said,
Lined up for the judgment.
For the week, eyebrows done. Stay there. Sorry. Go ahead, Erica.
okay, so guys, I'm sorry, she kills me. Thank you so much for joining me again. If you are looking in and you're like, what show is it? It is What Matters, even though you are seeing the hosts of In the Now on the screen. My very special, awesome, wonderful guest, Tricia Walters, MUA extraordinaire, the Brow Whisperer. You can find her contact information at the end of this video. I'm sure it went up during, but her email address is triciawalters1@gmail.com. Book your appointments. She travels. Yes, she does. I'm telling the things I do to this girl. So I thank you for watching. We will be back next week. And yes, come back on Friday and come check Simone's
Send her a
brows.
picture on Instagram.
And these people.
Eyebrows done.
Eyebrows done. And so next week we have returning guest Andrew L. Blackwood, will be our resident psychotherapist, and we will be talking about all the things that make us a better person. So I will see you next week. I thank you, Tricia. I thank you, Simone, with the eyebrows, who you will see on Friday with said eyebrows because she figured out how to do them. We'll see you next week. Bye, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Same eyebrows. Why you-